What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new to the channel too and want to hit the subscribe button, that would help me out immensely. In this video, we're going to be finalizing the fueling system, one of the last major parts on the Skyline build. And to all of my new subscribers, let me show you what we are running in terms of fueling. So our setup is pretty straightforward and sort of simple. In terms of injectors, we are running Injector Dynamic 1050s that are E85 compatible. We have a radium fuel rail that I have an R33, not RB25 Series 1 or 2, not RB25 Neo, since this plenum, Grady plenum, is for the Series 1 or 2, not the Neo, but it does fit the Neo. Radium fuel rail, radium fuel damper, radium fuel pressure regulator, auxiliary pressure gauge, again more D-Works fittings. We are running a Haltech flex fuel sensor as well. And in terms of the fuel pump, we are running a beefy D-Works 400 pump, -6 PTFE lines. Got about 15 feet here and 20 feet in this box. That should be enough, I'm hoping. In terms of the fuel hanger lines, on the bottom here we have compression fittings. So what we'll go ahead and do is just lob off the flare here and install the bottom. And then on top, which is going to route cleanly on top and under the fuel tank, are -6 45-degree fittings. So hopefully all my calculations are correct and everything fits in this small gap here. If anything too, I may just trim off a little bit of the edge here so we can have room to tighten the fittings. And I almost forgot, in terms of a fuel filter, we are running a universal D-Works dual stage 110 micron filter. A very nice piece. So I do have everything already planned out in my head, of course. We're gonna be using some nice rib nuts to hold up the bracketry. I got more brackets coming in tomorrow for the fuel lines to keep everything nice, neat, and organized. Already went ahead and removed all the stock fuel lines, which was pretty self-explanatory. So at this moment in time, I would like to get the compressions fitted onto the fuel hanger. Just got done installing the 5/16 2-6 compression hardline fittings. Came out very nicely. These are tapered, so that's why there is this gap, but I did pressure test these and everything is good so far. What I ended up doing was grabbing a Dremel with a metal cutting wheel with little pressure because I didn't want to warp the lines, cut them through, deburred them, and now they are good, ready for testing. So now it's time to put the fuel hanger back in the tank and see where the AN fittings land. Again, thinking I may need to trim this ever so slightly. All right, just got the hanger back in the tank. If you can see, yeah, very, very tight tolerance. I'm going to put the Skyline, or I'm gonna raise the Skyline up on the quick jacks and see if I can maneuver a fitting in here. But honestly, it looks like I may need to trim this ever so slightly. This just so I can wrench on the AN fittings. But let's see what we can do first because I want to avoid cutting this car at all costs. All right, so I came to the conclusion again, I can either ovalize this slot here so I have access to tightening the -6 fittings, or I just thought I can also drop the tank too, but that seems like a lot of work just to tighten some fittings. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut this, ovalize it, hit it with a deburring tool, and then shoot it some clear coat so it doesn't rust, and then we have easy access to our -6 lines. All right, so I just went ahead and cut, grinded, and deburred this section of the trunk floor. I have adequate clearance now for the fittings to fit, and this makes everything much easier for service, just in case I need to pop off these lines for any reason. So it is what it is, and I did go ahead and primer the exposed metal, and then I put this rubber insulator around it. So the next step is we're going to make our inline first. So we'll build this -6 fitting, we'll route that to the fuel filter, then to our fuel pressure regulator, and then on the way back we'll go ahead and build our return line. Moving right along, just got done making our first fuel line, and don't worry, I will secure this nicely with some nice bracketry. Just got done mounting the universal fuel filter as well, It definitely isn't going anywhere. On the side here, just made a nice rib nut on the frame rail. And then over here, just utilized a stock bolt hole. Now it's time to mount our Haltech Flex Fuel sensor and then build another nice fuel line. All right, not so sure how well you all can see, but just got done mounting the Haltech Flex Fuel sensor. Again, just did my 2 pilot holes and then rib nutted a 8x32. Very sturdy, definitely isn't going anywhere. So now let's go ahead and put on our 45-degree fittings and start building some AN lines. Just got done with the Flex Fuel Sensor 2 fuel pressure regulator line made. Nice and sturdy, plenty of slack in the line. All that's left now is to do our return line from the rail to the fuel tank. And then the tedious part, putting all the P-clamps on. I'm gonna use these to essentially hold the lines to the frame rail. And then we got these nice 6 AN brackets, which will, you can get the vision already, hold the 2 fuel lines together so everything is routed nice and neat. All right, everybody, just about done plumbing the entire fuel system. Let me show you from tank to front what I did. So obviously we got the return line all made up, nice and clean. You'll like this. I utilized every single OEM mounting hole with a, either that was already tapped for a screw and or I rib nutted. So I got this one up here, which is pretty cool. We got this guy there, that guy there. Put these nice divider brackets to make it look clean. Another one here on the frame rail. This one up here actually had a plastic style clip in it. I just removed it, elongated it ever so slightly, and then of course rib nutted it, and now it's good. Same with this. That one was, that's also a rib nut. And then coming up here, nice and clean. Also got the fuel hanger fittings labeled return and inline, just in case when I take these out to service, I don't get them mixed up. And for our return fitting, if you can see, just a 90-degree fitting, run the line back down cleanly. And again, guys, on that note, the fuel system is all plumbed up. Double checked all the bolts to the bracketry, double checked all of the fittings, of course. And I'm just incredibly stoked again on taking this project on by myself. Definitely learning a lot, and I hope this inspires all of you too to do your own work on a car if you're on a budget. I'm clearly not on a budget, as you can tell with all the goodies, but a great learning experience, and just incredibly stoked on all the progress we have made in the last 5-6 months. So next on the list in another video, remake this power steering line. I need 2 90s and some more 10 AN line. My bracket for my coolant reservoir comes in early next week, so I'll go ahead and mount that guy right here. Just have to drill out this little bit, trim this hose, trim the lower rad hose, and then secure them. And I think I need to do like a coolant fitting on the turbo hot side. Somewhere there, I'll do that on my own time. But guys, this thing is looking incredibly sick, and just waiting on our wiring harness at this time. And on that note, everybody, that is all I have for you in this video. Once again, so much progress has been made within the last 6-7 months, and the Skyline is almost ready to run. It is kind of nerve-wracking because once we do the initial start, I'll see what is and what isn't leaking, but I'll triple check all the lines and fittings once that time comes. Fuel system is plumbed, everything else is almost plumbed, just some bits and pieces here and there. And then again, initially just waiting on the wiring harness from Wiring Specialties. I will be reaching out to them early next week or early this upcoming week and seeing if I can get the work expedited. We are reaching the end of September, and I want to have the Skyline tuned, running great, going to Cars and Coffee as soon as possible. So cross my fingers they can help me out. But thank you again, everybody, so much for the continued love and support. And if you're new to the channel too and want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. I'll catch you next video. Take care.